Good morning, Cancer. How are you doing? Happy Saturday, and welcome to your Cancer Tarot Diary. I'm going to be pulling a Celtic Cross. We're going to be looking at the energies that are going on for you today. I feel like today you might be being visited by a bit of a specter of lack. What I get here is at the center of the reading you're showing up as the Princess of Pentacles. You're crossed by the Five of Pentacles, Lord of Material Trouble. This lack doesn't have to necessarily be financial. And maybe it's not even lack, it's just you're looking out, looking forward, being like, how do I do this? Or maybe what you're doing today is you're getting an organization of your resources, kind of seeing where you are, what you have, and how much you can do, how much you have to stand on. Not quite ready to make any choices though either. The Princess of Pentacles is not the Knight. We're not in motion yet. It's more like planning. So I sense today to be a bit of a day of planning, a bit of day of rest, a bit of day of meditation maybe. See where you're at, kind of getting your ducks in a row. What you have underneath you is the Knight of Wands. So you've been doing good. And a lot of the reading is good. There's no good or bad reading. They just are. But what we get underneath you is the Knight of Wands. This is excitement. This is action. This is what's below you. You do have a fire. You do want to do something. But I think some good organization and some good planning is going to be what takes you there, is what's going to allow this to flourish. What you have behind you is the Knight of Swords. So this isn't something that's in the past. So this isn't something that you haven't thought about, or that you don't see that there needs to be structure. You certainly see that there's a way for you to move forward. And this Princess of Pentacles, hasn't stepped out into the journey, but is just about to. But I think what's encumbering you is this sense of lack, perhaps. This could also be about relationship, a specter from the past kind of coming up. There's been a lot of these readings talking about you really being done with the past and ready to move forward. But things will always keep coming up that need to be healed and then go back down again. As long as you can use it, to your benefit rather than be encumbered by it, you'll do great. Healing is not linear. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 back, 2 steps forward, 1 back. But I think you know that already, because what we get at the top here is the Hermit. So if it is about resources, or if it is about relationship, if it is about career, you know enough with all of these cards that that's still going to, whatever's going on internally for you today, Cancer, is still going to be for your highest and greatest good. There's enough wisdom there that you're not really spun out. You're also getting very clear in thought, I sense today. Sometimes we sit in confusion. That Five of Pentacles, Princess of Pentacles, Knight of Wands and Swords, those are not kings and queens. And 5 is, sometimes 5 of Pentacles has a lot to do with like 9 of Swords too, making things worse than what they really are. There's this thing about money, especially, it can be called vagueness, where if you don't know your numbers, sometimes you have more than you think you do, or you don't have as much as you think you do. This can also be about checking in with other people and just understanding where you are in relationship with them. There can be a sense that things are worse than what they actually are. So I sense today, especially with this Knight of Swords being behind you, this Knight of Wands, is the need to get organized, to find out where you really stand in whatever area this might be covering for you today, this Hermit. What's laying before you is the 9 of Cups. So I don't sense that things are as bad as they may be feeling. I think once you get to this Hermit card, you're going to realize you're actually doing a lot better than you think. This is you, Cups, that's you, suit of water in your power. More abundant than you realize. Your attitude is the Hierophant. So this again will be speaking towards organization. Whatever it is you're trying to do, or whatever it is that might be causing this 5 of Pentacles here, there's a good sense of needing to be organized, following a structure. This could also just be a good weekend of setting a plan, setting a goal, writing out your challenges, writing out what you want to see happening for yourself next week, and then being able, to execute it. Because what we get in the environment is once you find this, once you get your Pentacles organized, get your Cups, all 9'd out, Hermit seeing where you're at, it moves you into the Hierophant. This is some structure. This is a higher building, a higher commitment. If it is about people around you as well, it's kind of coming into union with them. Perhaps you need to have a serious conversation with someone, tell them what you're really feeling. But either way, this is a higher commitment. This is structure. This is organization. And in your environment, what we get is the King of Wands. So you're going to be coming out kind of favorably with that. Good organization equals good success. It's kind of like when they film movies, right? Not all directors use a storyboard where they map out this is exactly what shot we're going to get today. But when they do, they find that there's more room actually for improvisation. You'd think that'd really hinder the creative process, but it doesn't. Because since we're all here knowing exactly what we're looking for, that creates a lot more space for the happy accident to happen, because everything is very well controlled. And you can actually then veer off a little bit more, rather than everyone just showing up being like, what are we doing? I don't know, because that chaos, while it may seem like it's creative, it's actually kind of detracting from the goal. And then nothing sporadic, because we don't even know what we're looking for to begin with anyway. I used to work in that, so that's really a thing. That sometimes being, as far as getting on stage, you need a stage set. You need to have some structure, so then the creative, as long as you have a base to stand on, then you can let the fire flame. But if there's no base, it's just like, where do we even begin? Hopes and fears, Sun. I don't really see much fear with that card. Again, good structure, good organization, knowing what you have, knowing what you don't, guarantees a good outcome. And as far as the outcome goes, what I get you at here today is the 5 of Cups. I know you'd be like, oh, you'd rather see the Sun in that position. But what I'm sensing with this 5 of Cups, it's not bad, especially with this 5 of Pentacles. You're looking at things that are paying out the way you want, and then things that may just be a burden, and what you're really doing is you're cutting your losses. This works, this doesn't. This could be relationships, money, where's the money going? Do I really need this? Do I not? This could also be Knight of Swords, thinking, are these thoughts serving me? Especially with this Knight of Wands, because what can happen with thinking, chronic thinking, is that thinking kind of, at first you think you're the one creating it because you're just so angry. But have you ever like sat in meditation and then have thoughts come back up and up and up? And what it is those thoughts have so much energy unto themselves that we fed into them, that they kind of show back up even when we don't want them, and they drain us. I don't want to sound creepy, but it's almost like the thoughts themselves become self-conscious. But the thing with that is you are the one who's in complete control of that. But it takes some good, careful planning. Princess of Pentacles, the thing I like about that, especially with the Five of Pentacles, is she's not like go, go, go. She's not beholden to anything. The Knight is in motion, and therefore he is sort of a slave to the plan. Whereas this is like, do I really want to go down this road or not? And this could just be poverty thinking. Again, with this Nine of Cups, Hermit, and all these other happy cards, and what I said when I began might be a sense of somewhat of a lack mentality, but just because the lack mentality is there doesn't mean you're actually in lack. So what thoughts are serving you and what thoughts are not? And I'd like to start with thoughts, because everything in our life that shows up out here is really about what's going on in here. One of the things that really kind of annoys me with tarot, and I don't want to go on a tangent, but you get so many readers want to talk about, do they love you, do they not, are they coming back, what are they, and it's like, wow, you're really giving away a lot of your power with that. That's actually one of the reasons I started this channel, because I'm not really going to be talking about them. I'm going to be talking about Cancer proper. So what thoughts are serving you? You know, what emotions are being indulged in that just really aren't helpful? You know, and that Hermit, again, shine the light on that. Knight of Swords, too, can just be thoughts, you know, moving quickly. I think, though, with this Hermit, that speaks to meditation. And then you get that Nine of Cups, and I think through that meditation, you're going to calm these, like, Five of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. You know, again, Princess of Pentacles is a good card. She's very solitary. But I think you're going to see, once the mind kind of, you're doing a lot better than you think you are. And you can stay on the course. Every day we want to whittle out that which is not helpful. That's why a morning meditation is so important. Career-wise, what's going on? Two of Wands, Two of Dominion. If you are job seeking, what lights you up? What's going to bring out this King of Wands? I mean, those two go very, very good. This is your environment. This is career. So what kind of places do you want to put yourself as far as career goes? What's going to bring this energy out of you? What's going to set you on fire? What's going to bring you the sun? Hopes and fears. That could be the kind of thing you're hoping to find. As far as career goes, what work have you done in the past you're no longer interested in? Because there's always a temptation, especially if you're like looking for work. I could go do this again, even though if you've already done it and it's past, that might be an over chapter in our life, but it can also be a comfort zone. And that Five of Cups is saying get rid of everything that is comfortable, because you still have two to go. Also, it's saying don't get comfortable in worry. You know, useless emotion, useless thought. Let's look at relationship. Also, Lord of Dominion, King of Wands, what do you excel in? That's the other thing about the Two Cups and that Five of Cups. We always, you know, at least when that card is presented to me, it's always like, oh God, I got to turn around, you know, but I wanted those three, you know. But there really is no future to one who cannot forgive their past. So, and one thing that happens is sometimes we look, how can I just break even, or how could I do a little bit better? When really what you want to do is those other two cups, you want to shoot to the moon. Sometimes we think I got to sort this out, what happened one more time. And it's like, sometimes that will sort itself out as long as we have a new goal that really excites us and turns us on and go toward it. I'll give you an example. I once had an injury on my shoulder. And I was in pain for a very, very long time. And I'd go to the gym. I'd go do yoga. I'd go do all of this stuff, try to, figure out what was going on. And then I got cast in a lead role in a Shakespearean play, which is a lot of work, which was my forte like what I wanted to be doing. I was driven by that. I was passionate by that, but it's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of work. And while I continued to go to the gym just to be in shape to pull off the role, my mind went so into the project that halfway through the project, I realized that shoulder pain still there, but wasn't this dominating force. It was pretty much gone. And it had nothing to do with yoga and working out. It had something to do with giving myself something else to think about and focus on rather than this. Because whatever you're focusing on, it's like you're putting a magnifying glass on it. And that could be this Five of Pentacles. That's the challenging card today. So maybe there's a focus on lack a little bit today, Cancer. That's why you want to move into this sun with hopes and fears. But sometimes with that Hermit, it takes just a little bit of meditation to figure that out. Death is what we get here in relationships. Child of the great transformers. Could be a Scorpio. See a lot of Leo, Taurus, Virgo, water sign. All of it's there, I guess. But the arcanas are indicating more like fire and earth. And again, since I'm not going to be so much focusing on them, what can you change about this to breathe new life into the situations? Maybe out of falling out, what are the 3 cups when you look at certain circumstances, people? What are the 5 pentacles that you're willing to let go of? Looking for the best in other people rather than the worst. You need to love prosperity more than you hate poverty, because even though you hate poverty, if you focus on poverty, hating it, that's a lot of energy you're giving to it. So you must love prosperity more than you hate that. So how can you transmute, because this is transforming, how can you transmute your viewpoints to either relationships that have passed or relationships you are currently in that you might be having a struggle with, or people, places, career, situation, anything. Family. What are the good points is what I'm trying to say, and how can you expound upon those, move those forward rather than staying focused on the 5 of Pentacles? Take those 3 cups, they're already spilled, poured out, the water is evaporating into the air. Start drinking out of the other 2. How can you forgive the past? Actually, forgive the past, but what can you look at to kind of get you away from that? And what lessons have you been taught in that? Because even out of confusion comes order, out of chaos comes order, out of loss comes life. So, whatever hardships we've had, they're only as hard as we want to pick something up and say, this is hard. Otherwise, it's just confusing. And there's nothing wrong with confusing. In the Tao Te Ching, they talk about who can sit long enough to let the mud settle. Just because something doesn't feel good doesn't mean it's not for the highest good, as long as you can breathe through it. And again, with that Princess of Pentacles in the center, she's, people say it's an immature card. No, it's just, she's not in motion. King and Queen got work to do. Knight got work to do. This one has time to just sit, look, and say, well, I'm not moving one way or the other till I am certain what plan I have. So today you don't have to really react on anything. Just sit and say, how can I use everything to my benefit, including things that are difficult, including a loss. Or this could just be someone coming back in and things being renewed on a surface level. But again, that would come from here first before out there. Justice is the overall. So yeah, I think we've been right on course with this. Overall reading, Daughter of the Lord of Truth. What is your truth, Cancer? See again? Transmutations of energy, balancing it out. Princess of Pentacles. You want that Sun, you want that King of Wands, you want that higher commitment. You want to be happy. So examine your thoughts, examine your passions, examine your resources. Transmute that shit. This guy turns shadow into light. Transmute it, then see where you are. And then happily drink these other two and throw those other 3 cups out, because you're not going to need them anymore. This 5 of Pentacles is challenging, right? The muddy thinking, but it's not the truth. That's just the challenge in the mind. So a good sense of justice today. That's what I have for you today. Great Saturday to do all of this. Thank you for joining me, Cancer. If you like this reading, like, click, and subscribe. I saw that somebody subscribed yesterday. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. And take care. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Stay healthy and be well.